Hello, welcome to the Antisocial Club. I'm Diamond Alexis. Today, I will be doing part 2 of my Q&A. I'm so sorry if y'all hear chewing. It is my dog. It always is. I'd rather him sit here and chew than be chewing on things he's not supposed to. So, yeah. But this is part 2 of my Q&A. In this part, I'm going to be doing my business / crochet questions that I get all the time, where I get my tags, how I came up with my name, my logo, pricing, stuff like that. So yeah, I'm gonna do that, and let's get started. So very first question is how I came up with my business name and my logo. If you don't know my business name and logo, I will put it here on the side. It's literally just 1107. Nothing major, nothing crazy. So a little backstory about me. If you didn't watch my part 1 of my Q&A, which tells more of my personal stuff, I did go to college. I do have my bachelor's degree in business and sociology. I also did graphic design every year of high school. And I used to actually make logos for people. So as a little side hustle. I might have done 2 or 3 logos, but hey, I still made money from it. So just a little quick backstory about me. Long story short about my name for my business is 1107, and it's in the form of a clock, 11 and has the 2 dots. I forget what they're called, and then 07. 1107 is actually my angel numbers. So I see those numbers all the time, and I always see them on a clock, in clock form. So if I'm looking at a clock, a lot of times when I look at the clock, it'll say 1107, or 1017 is also another one of my angel numbers. The night I was trying to figure out the name for my business, so I originally wanted my business, another little fun fact about me, I'm very earth conscious, so I try not to use a lot of plastic. My favorite holiday is Earth Day. I'm one of those type of people. And so when I was starting my business, I wanted to do something along the lines of maybe having a zero waste store or something like that. So I was trying to come up with names, and my mom, one of the things she told me was, Diamond, don't have your name of your business be specific to something. So I was coming up with all these names Earth this, or Earth that, or something that had to do with Earth. But she was like, don't do that, because I know how you are. You might want to start doing something different, which she was right. So I looked at the clock, and when I looked over at the clock, it said 1107, and I was like, oh, I was like, what about the name 1107? And she was like, oh yeah, that's perfect. I was like, not only is it my angel numbers, but it's also my birthday, so it works out. So I ended up doing my business name as 1107. My logo, I just did it simple. It used to look a little different. If I can find it, I'll put a picture. I probably won't be able to find it though, I'm not gonna lie. But it was literally just skinny numbers, and it said 1107, and I believe it was in green. But I quickly changed it to bolder numbers that look more 70s. I love the 70s, so the numbers kind of look 70-ish. And they're bolder and they're black. When I took graphic design in high school, one of the first things she taught us was that when you come up with logos, it has to be something simple and memorable. And so 1107, just plain, it's simple, it's memorable, it's easy to say, it's not a lot to remember. So that's how I came up with my name. I know a lot of people often have questions what can I, how do I come up with my name? And I know a lot of people do things with the word stitch, or they'll have crochet in their name, or they'll have naughty, or they'll have knot, or they'll have thread, or they always have something, and it has to do with what it is. But you don't have to have that in your name. I would actually advise against it, like my mother did for me. So I mean, you could do like I did, do your birthday, do your angel numbers. I love pandas. I could do my name with like panda something, you know, like think outside the box. There's nothing wrong with having the words crochet or like thread or stitch or knot. Like there's nothing wrong with having those in your name, but if you're like me and you want to maybe eventually venture out into doing other things, you don't want to have to keep either rebranding or change your name or make a whole nother name for something, another project that you're doing. You want to have one name that you can use across the board. I would recommend doing something that still caters to who you are, but is simple and unique and just easy to remember. Also with logos, I would try to go as simple as possible. I also used to work for a t-shirt printing company, and one of the things was like if you want to make merch and t-shirts with maybe your logo and stuff on them, the more colors, the more expensive. If you do like mine is black, my logo is literally just black, it's black numbers, so I could probably get 30 shirts for $150, right? If you had a logo and it had like 4 colors, your same t-shirt, 30 t-shirts might be $500, $600. You know what I mean? So also think about that, especially if you want your brand to be big and you want to stick with that name and that logo. So I would just think about that. How long have I had my business? I've had my business for maybe 5 years. It's been an art business for about 3.5 years, but I've been crocheting for almost 3 years. So my business, I started off as a boutique. I sold clothes and then I stopped. And then I went over to painting, so I painted like bags and stuff. I'll put some like videos and stuff so y'all can see. I did like anime tote bags and stuff like that. And then I got into crochet, and so then it started to become like a crochet business. So, but I've had my actual like business with my business name, I believe it's been about like 5 years. So, which is great. Coming off of the last question, which was about my logo, I've had all these different businesses. Like I've changed like what I do, but my name of my business and my logo has never changed. So that's why I say it's best to find something that fits you in case you want to switch what you're doing. Maybe you don't want to do what you're doing anymore, but you can still keep the same name. Where do I get my business supplies? So this is one of the most asked questions that I get, which is where I get my labels for my crochet pieces, and I get them on Etsy. I'd be like, people forget about Etsy. Etsy has a lot of stuff. All of my labels I've ever had, I've gotten on Etsy. My first labels, I'll insert a picture, used to be sew-on labels, which were perfect because I was doing bags, and so you could just sew them on. I was still using them when I had my crochet. Like last year, I wanted to kind of change it and make it a little more nicer looking. So I went to these other tabs, like other labels, but then I changed it to the labels that I have now. I like the labels I have now. I think they're perfect for some items, and then like for other items I feel like they're a little bulky, so I don't know, but I'm kind of indecisive. So but yeah, I get it on Etsy. My crochet stuff, I usually put them in bags. I get my bags off of Amazon. They're just plain black bags, and usually what I would do is write people's name on them in a silver Sharpie, and then I put a thank you card in there as well with a handwritten note, and then I put a little miniature art print in the bag as well. And I get the paper for that on Amazon or from Walmart. Another big thing people ask me is how do I determine my pricing for my crochet items. So when I first started off crocheting, my stuff was set, I wouldn't say it was set really low, but it definitely could have been higher. I usually determine my pricing based off of materials and how much time I spend making it. So like my baseball caps, I know a lot of people are selling theirs for cheap, but I'm like, I have to like sew those caps down, and sewing onto those caps are not the like easiest, most simple thing ever. Not only that, but I tie all my scrap yarn together. So tying all the scrap yarn together takes a lot of time as well. So like I charge $100 for my scrapbook hat, and then the name beads. If you want the name beads, it's an extra, I think, $15 because I have to buy the beads. Like, you know, I charge for materials, but I also charge for my time. My duffel bag. I feel like people are very much, I've been seeing people trying to sell the duffel bags, and a lot of y'all are undercharging, especially if you're using the same yarn I'm using, because the yarn alone for those duffel bags is, if you have to get two skeins, or like, yeah, two skeins for each color. Like I had two colors, you have to get two skeins for each color. That's 4 skeins of yarn. That's almost $80. That's almost $80. That's like $100 right there. That's not including the zipper. That's not including the fact that you have to sew down the bag, like sew down everything. You have to, like, I have to buy the charms. Like, I charge $300 for that bag, and it's not going down. I refuse to lower the price because I always say to people, if people want something, they will buy it. Every time I open up my baseball caps, they sell out. People are like, you're selling them for $100, $115. Yes, and people pay because, one, I know I do good work. I'm very much a perfectionist. I wouldn't give somebody something that I wouldn't give somebody poorer quality than I would give myself. You know, like I make all my stuff look good. So I want y'all stuff to look good because my name is on it. So I know I do good work. And that's not me bragging. That's just like, I just know I do good work. So you're essentially paying for my work. Yes, you can go get it somewhere else, but at the end of the day, I know I do my work the way that it looks. You're not paying, if you go to somebody else, you're not paying for my work, so you can't expect them to have their stuff look like mine. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not like, and that's not me trying to be like rude or sound like mean. Like, I hope y'all understand what I'm saying, but I charge because I charge according to how I know my work is, and I know I do good work. So yeah, I price my things based off of materials. I definitely account materials. I know some people say, oh, don't do like by materials, but I'm gonna definitely charge you for my materials because, like I said, stuff like the duffel bag, the yarn alone is $70. I have to buy all the charm pieces to make the charms. I have to take time to put the charms together. I have to sew down all the pieces. I have to buy the zipper. I have to sew down the zipper. I have to, you know, do all this stuff. So I'm gonna charge you for that. I'm gonna charge you for my time, but I'm also gonna charge you what I feel like I'm worth as well. And I think all of us do that, especially because it's handmade stuff. Like, if you want a bag that's just sewn on a machine, you can go get a bag that's on a machine. But you want something that's handmade, so you're gonna have to pay handmade prices. Handmade pricing and machine-made pricing is not supposed to be the same. People charge more for machine-made stuff and then get mad when people who handmade stuff try to charge not even the same amount. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I hope that's making sense. So yeah, that's how I determine my pricing. I'm materials, time, and how much I feel like I'm worth. But all I'm gonna say is my biggest tip is don't sell y'all stuff for, like, don't sell yourself short. People pay for what they want. If you do good work and people see that your stuff is good quality and you put time and effort into your work, people will pay for it. Trust me. So yeah, don't try to undercharge yourself. I seen somebody on a Facebook group. Those Facebook groups are like they're good, but at the same time, I hate when people ask pricing questions in the Facebook group because people be saying some low numbers. I'm like, bro, not you're trying to sell a whole dress for $100. I sell a hat for $100, and you're trying to sell a dress for $100. Babes, please, let's not do that. I don't ever recommend asking people like, how should I price this, because there are people that are trying to like lowball. So just go with your gut. Like, you know, just go with your gut. Oh, something else someone asked was, do I do deposits? No, I don't do deposits. You're going to pay me up front and then I will start making it. I haven't had problems with anybody saying, I don't want to like pay. No. If I'm going to start something, I need my money up front because, again, you have to buy the materials. I'm not like, I don't do that. Like, you're gonna pay me my money. The one time I tried to make something for someone before they paid, they didn't end up paying. So I don't do that. I don't do deposits. I don't do the pay after I make it. I usually, people come to me, they want custom orders. I say, okay, it'll be this much, da da da. You want something extra? Okay, that's an extra $5. I tell them the price of it. They go, okay. I say, okay, I'll send you a link to pay. Once you pay, I will start. Once you pay, I will start. And either they'll pay, or most of the time, I mean, if people are serious, like, they'll pay. But a few times I've had where people, they just, they didn't pay. But a lot of times, people pay. I haven't had anybody complain to me, like, I don't want to pay before I, like, get the before I see that the item is done. Most people are okay with paying. I'm a pretty honest person. I feel like if I'm gonna scam, I'm gonna find a easier scam to do than taking your money like through crochet. Like, I feel like there's so many other ways to scam. So I haven't had any problems doing it the way I do it. I know some people do deposits, but I'm not doing a deposit. I need you to pay me all my money. I've had one time somebody tried to, I guess, get their bank to refund them the money. They didn't make it. I got my money back because one thing I don't do is play about my money. I keep record of everything. Most of the time I take pictures of everything that I make, so I have proof that I made the item and I sent it out the day that it says it was shipped. So y'all could do that as well. It's just like a proof in case y'all have people who try to get over and be like, I never received my item, I need a refund from my bank, I need my money back. Some people are weird like that, weirdos. So just keep that in mind as well. Another question is, how did I make my website? So my website is shop1107.com. I will put a picture here. And I made my website through Wix. I had a different website company I was using at first. I don't remember what it is, but it was more simple. Wix is a lot more complicating because you can personalize it a lot more, which I love because I love playing around with stuff like that. But if you're someone who's like simple, I think they have it where you can choose templates to do on Wix. I'm not sure because I started my website a while ago. But yeah, it is a little more complicated to kind of figure out on Wix. But I do use Wix.com and I love it. I haven't had any problems. I was a little skeptical using them at first because I know some people were having issues with like them getting paid and stuff, but I haven't had any issues, luckily, thankfully. And yeah, I mean, I love using Wix. I can customize it on my website. You can go on there, you can play music while you shop, you can play videos. Like, I have different tabs. I have they have a section where you can do like a blog. They have all kinds of stuff. So I really love Wix. So someone asked, do I gift crochet to friends and family? No. I do like the people in my house. or like, you know, like my dad and my stepmom and stuff like that. I will gift them things, but like, and it depends. It depends on what it is. Sometimes I will. Most of the time, not really, because crochet takes a lot of time, and I just feel like somebody would buy it, you know? But it's not very often I will gift, but sometimes I will. Oh, this is another huge question I get. Do you mind if people sell the items that they make from your tutorials? I don't mind. Like, and I get why people ask the question, but I think it's weird when people put out patterns and when people put out tutorials and they tell people you can make it and you can make it for people that you love, like your family and friends, but you can't sell it. Like, I think that's so weird, because why would you tell someone how to make something and then tell them that you can't sell it? To me, that doesn't make sense. Like, why give somebody the blueprint to something and then be like, no, you can't sell it? Because my thing is like, if I tell y'all can't sell it, somebody's gonna sell it anyway. And how am I supposed to know that they're selling it unless somebody tells me? So, you know, like, I don't get people who do that. But no, I don't care. Like, anything I put out a tutorial for, even if I make something and you remake it, I don't care if you sell it. Like, you know, like, I don't care. Like, I know there's like this thing in the crochet community. Everybody wants to, oh, that's my design. I came up with this. I came up with that. Like, I get it, but it's never that serious to me. Like, I don't care. Like, I don't care. If you want to remake something, even if I don't have a tutorial or pattern out for it, go right ahead. If you want to sell it, go right ahead. Yeah, no, I don't care if y'all sell the things that y'all make off of my tutorials. It does not bother me at all. Not even a little bit. I say go for it. My only problem is that when people use my pictures, like, if you can make the item, that means you can make it to take a picture of it. So you don't need my picture. And that's the thing I be having a problem with, when people use my pictures. I don't mind when people remake stuff. I just be mad when they use my picture, because your work doesn't look like my work and my work don't look like your work. And that's false advertisement. And my thing is that I don't get people who buy from people who use other people's pictures, because if you're not willing to put your picture in the front to show people like your work, that must mean you don't think your work is that good. You know, like, that's how I look at it. And I wouldn't want to buy from someone who's not confident enough in their work. You know, I put a lot of work and effort into my pictures and in my work. And when people take my pictures and try to use them to sell their stuff, it's just very annoying, and it's very low. It just seems very like you don't have enough confidence in your work, you know? So yeah, I don't mind if y'all make the stuff. I just don't want y'all using my pictures. That's my only thing. That's the only thing that bothers me. Other than that, I mean, go for it. Someone asked, what advice would I give to beginner crocheters or people who want to become an entrepreneur? Marketing is huge. So I know y'all probably noticed I love like photography. I love taking pictures. I mostly love editing, but I love taking pictures. And I take pride in my pictures and stuff, which is why I have such a like annoyance when people use my pictures, because I really put a lot of time and effort into them. But my biggest thing, a lot of people always ask me like, how did you grow your business so fast? And honestly, it's just marketing. I mean, I do have a business degree, so that helps. Like, I know some things, but I really try to make sure I put out quality work. I try to market my stuff. Also, paying attention to trends is very important. So, like, for example, my do-rag, when I put it out, it was summer. My mom was like, Diamond, don't do black. Don't do a black do-rag. Make sure it's a color. And I chose yellow. And at the time, yellow was kind of like a big color. And so when I put out the video, it was my first viral video. Same thing with like my scrapbook baseball cap. this past summer people were getting into wearing a lot more colors, because I know we're kind of tired of seeing all the bland, like minimalist type stuff. So I know a lot of people were getting into wearing a lot of colors, like the color blocking and like just stuff like that, patterns. So I came out with a baseball cap, and of course it went viral. Same thing with my duffel bag I just did. The reason I did it in the colors that I did it in, which was a greenish color and brown, because green and brown are the colors for this winter. So like if you Google or like go on TikTok or something and you search like what are the colors for this winter slash fall, it'll be green, brown, and like cheetah print is like the print, like it's those things. So I try to pay attention to trends. Green is trending color right now, so a lot of my things I've been making have been green. So I try to pay attention to things like that as well. So yeah, I would just pay attention to trends. Also, my bag charms were trending when I did my bag. I also would say pick something and kind of perfect it. So one thing about me, when I first started crocheting, people know me as like crocheting headwear. If they wanted headwear, that's what I would make. When people would ask me, can you make me this? Like it was some clothes or something. I'm like, no, I only do headwear. Can you make me this? No, only headwear. So a lot of times people knew me for making headwear. And so whenever they would want something crocheted and it's for like a hat or something, they would know to come to me. And because I had it down, I could do it and stuff like that. So I would try to stick to something kind of perfected. Not saying you can't venture out and do other things, because obviously I do other things as well. But people know me for like my hats and stuff. Hence my do-rag, my baseball cap, my granny square fur hat, my turban, like head stuff. So yeah, having confidence in your work. People can tell if you're not confident in your work. So I would make sure you have confidence in your work and do lots of videos, lots of pictures. People love to see things on. People love to see them like in your own style. I think a lot of times, like my stuff does really good because people love my style. People love seeing how I style them. So yeah, that's another piece of advice I would give, is kind of put your flair on things. Make it your style. Be yourself, My favorite crochet piece I've made. I really loved my dress I did for our Game of Thrones Christmas. It was inspired by Joffrey. I'll put the sketch and stuff like on the sides. I'll try to stay here in the middle. I'll put the sketch and everything. I sketched up the dress and then I made the dress with cotton yarn. It was my first time making something with completely cotton yarn. That was like a big project. And it turned out exactly like how my sketch looked. And so I forever loved that dress just because it came out exactly the way I wanted it to. Also, I really loved, all my Christmas outfits are usually my favorite. I love my Christmas outfit that we did for our Marvel themed Christmas. I did a Venom inspired outfit. It was my first time crocheting like clothes. So I made my top. It's completely crochet, and then I crocheted into a skirt. I love the top as well. I think everything just tied together very well. It was my first time crocheting an outfit, so it was like, oh yeah, this is really good. Those two are probably my favorite crochet things I've made, which is why I want to get into more big projects next year, because I love my big projects. My big projects are always my favorite because I actually put time and effort, and I actually like sketch them out and I like think about them. And so when I see it executed, it's always so satisfying. This has been my part 2. Hopefully this video won't be too long. I hope that you'll find some useful tips and tricks and got some of y'all's questions answered. If y'all have any more questions, more than welcome to put them down below. I will answer all of them. Doesn't matter what the question is. I do have a part 1 to this Q&A, which says just a little bit more personal things about him, so you can check that out. I'll link it down below as well. And yeah, make sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see y'all in my next video. Bye.